I'm really excited about today's segment. I came down to Texas to see Curtis Seebeck, a longtime friend and customer of Alumilite with TurnTex Woodworks. Curtis, tell us a little bit about what you do with Alumilite products.
Well, I mean, Mike, as you know, for about the 6 or 7 years now, I've been using Alumilite. I make primarily pen blanks as well as other blanks. 7 years or so ago, I came up with a process I call worthless wood, which is taking wood that's worthless, even for pens, and casting it with Alumilite with different colors to fill in the places where there wasn't any wood and to enhance the natural aspects of the wood. This is a piece of agarita. It starts out as a really nasty stump, and then it gets cut up and cleaned up and cast. And then shortly thereafter, I came up with the concept of making pens out of prickly pear cactus. And then after that, I started getting demand for other items, such as knife scales. This is a knife made by a custom knife maker from Canada using some of my Magma Red original cactus blank knife material.
Great.
I've got duck call customers that buy duck call blanks from me to make custom duck calls. Shaving brush blanks, these are a set of pen blanks.
You do boxes, you do pretty much anything that people want to turn and create some artistic thing.
Yeah, even for flat work. It doesn't have to be just for wood, for turning itself. I mean, this is going to be a pen box. It's not complete yet, but it started out, as a piece of wood that was missing places, and so I cast it with Alumilite to fill in the voids.
That's great.
This box here has Alumilite filling in the cracks in mesquite, as well as an Alumilite inlay.
It's beautiful.
In the front.
Well, let's walk them through a little bit. Maybe we'll just walk them through how you cast the blanks and how you turn them into these beautiful works of art.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to show how to make a couple different type of blanks. One will be an opaque blank using Alumilite white. And then second, we will do a blank using where we embed something in it, typically using a translucent resin, which would be Alumilite water clear with some dyes and some metallic powders in it. For molds, I prefer to make my own molds using cutting boards available at Sam's. There's actually a plan and a cut list and a tutorial on my website on how to make these. It's basically just a cutting board that I screw together. I leave it so one end is able to be removed so we can demold the block once the resin has cured. Put the blaster in. Once the mold's put back together, it's ready to spray some mold release, stoner or UMR from Alumilite. Now it's ready to mix the resin and pour. Alright, we're going to start out by pouring our resin. Most of Alumilite's products are mixed by weight. Some of them are by volume, but just to be safe, I always go by weight. I put my cup on the scale and zeroed it out. We know this mold's going to take about 18 ounces of resin. So I'll pour in 9 ounces of my B side. And 9 ounces of A. The reason I like the clear cups is because when you first pour the two together, you can see it's milky and cloudy. Alumilite needs to be mixed properly, otherwise you're going to have failures. Or you're possibly going to have failure. Clear cups allow me to see whenever it's mixed completely. Be sure and scrape the sides of the cups and the cup and the bottom of the cup as you go. We're going to do a base pour of white with some red and blue, but I'm mixing all the resin together at first. I'll pour some of that off into that cup. I'm just guessing at how much. And we'll pour the base coat into, or the base into the mold. Now we'll add some red dye to one of them. I'm just guessing at the amount. work fairly fast. We've got a 2 to 3 minute open time, so we don't want to waste time, but we also don't need to break our neck. Okay, I'm going to just pour the tube. I'm going to swirl it around just a little bit with a stick. Now it's ready to go in the pressure pot. Alumilite recommends 40 pounds of pressure. I have a pot capable of 70, so I go to 70. Make sure whatever you do not exceed the maximum working pressure for your pressure pot. Okay, at 70, so I'm going to release my air. I'll let the blank set for about 20 minutes, and then once done, we'll come back and release the pressure and demold the blanks and show you what they look like. Okay, Mike, we're going to do a single mold cast this time using Alumilite's water clear. That's what I typically would use for my worthless wood type castings or my cactus castings. We'll be adding some dye and some Alumilite copper metal powder. In this instance, I'm going to cast some, these are cherry drill shavings, if you want to call them that came up from a cabinet shop. So we're going to take our clear cup. Again, like I said, I like to use a clear cup so I can see when the resin's completely mixed. This mold, I'm going to pour 6 ounces of resin. Probably won't need it all, but I'd rather err on the side of caution and have extra. Three ounces of the other. So don't be afraid to just stir the heck out of it. We're going to put it in a pressure pot. So if we do get some air bubbles in it, it's not a big deal. Make sure you scrape the sides of the cup and the bottom of the cup. As you can see, I've got it completely mixed now. It's no longer got any streaks in it. It's all uniform color. Now I'm ready to add the dye. Using Alumilite red dye, I typically use around a drop per ounce of resin. And stir that up. Now we're going to add a little bit of metallic powder to give it some body. Use about that much right there. Dump that in. Now for casting these loose shavings, they're going to want to float, so we're just going to pack the mold full. We're going to put it in layers so that we get the shavings well saturated. Pack it in there, because remember they're wanting to float, so we just want to get it packed. There's no room for it to float. Okay, now we're ready to put it in the pressure pot. This little mold rack that I made. Do not exceed whatever your pressure pot's rating is for maximum working pressure. That's it. 20-30 minutes from now we'll come back and demold that one and show you what it looks like. Okay, we're going to demold this shavings blank. See that it's well packed. Now we're going to put this on the table saw and cut it up. Okay, we're going to glue in the tube on this one with a little bit of CA, also known as super glue. Got the tube plugged with some plumber's putty. Now we'll let it set till the glue dries, and we'll be ready to turn it on the lathe. Okay, I'm ready to square the face of the blank to the tube. Some people use a pin mill. I prefer this setup. I've got a piece of MDF that's been drilled and tapped to fit my headstock. And then I've got a drill chuck in the tailstock. And then these are knockout punches available from Harbor Freight or somewhere like that that'll fit the size of the tube. This is a real accurate way to square up the blank. I've put my live center back in the tailstock. I'm going to turn the more accurate way, which is between centers, using these special between centers bushings and a dead center. Okay, I've done my initial sanding with wet and dry sandpaper. Now I'm going to switch to my micro finishing cloth. I actually use a product from Alpha Precision Abrasives called micro finishing cloth. Very similar to micro mesh, but their advantage is it's color coded on the back. And I just like the feel of their stuff better. So I'll go through from 1500 grit to 12,000 grit, and then put a final polish on it and we'll be done. Okay, now I'm going to apply some Novus. Whoa! Novus 3 plastic polish. It helps take out some of the very fine scratches and gives you a better polish. Now some Nova 2, Novus 2. Now we're just going to assemble the kit. This is a real simple Sierra style kit to assemble. Parts get pressed in with a clamp. Assemble the transmission. Push it in and the pin is done.